Okay, so today's assignment, the first thing you should have done is watch the Ed Puzzle. If you haven't watched the Ed Puzzle yet over dividing decimals, stop what you're doing and go watch that video first. Okay, so dividing decimals, you should have already had this in your notes. But this is decimal division patterns, which means we're moving the decimal to the left. With multiplication, we move the decimal to the right. With division, we move it to the left. So however many zeros, that's how many places we move it to the left, just like what we did with multiplication. So if I'm looking at this box, 40.5 divided by 10, 10 has 1 0, so I'm going to move the decimal one place to the left. So 4.05, or 4 5/5. Okay? 40 5/10 divided by 100. 100 has 2 zeros. So I'm going to move the decimal 2 places to the left. 0.405. Okay, 40 5/10 divided by 1,000, which 1,000 has 3 zeros. So I'm going to move the decimal 3 places to the left. 1, 2, 3. So it went in front of the 0, in front of the 4, and then around to a blank space. And in that blank space, we fill it in with a 0. 0.0405. Okay, and the last one I'm going to do with you is 40 5/10 divided by 10,000. 10,000 has 4 zeros, so we're going to move the decimal 4 places to the left. So I'm going to go over once in front of the 0, a second time in front of the 4, and then I'm going to make 2 blank jumps. 1, 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 total jumps. And then now there's my decimal right there in the front. And I'm going to fill in the holes with zeros. So your answer is 0.00405. Now again, I don't expect you to know how to say that number. I just want you to know how to write that number. Okay? Yeah. Okay, all I'm doing is moving the decimal to the left. However many zeros, that's how many places we move the decimal to the left. Divide by 10, 1 place, 100, 2 places, 1,000, 3 places, and 10,000, 4 places. All right, now let's look at the straight division. And I did the first one for you. So I wrote the problem out, 245 3/10 divided by 5. First thing I did was, you see my arrow pointing up where the decimal goes. The decimal's lined up. And then you just divide. 5 can't go into 2, but it can go into 24. 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. Subtract, I get 4 minus 20 is, or 4 minus 0 is 4, and bring down the 5. 5 goes into 45 9 times. 9 times 5 is 45. 45 minus 45 is 0. Bring down your 3. 5 cannot go into 3. It goes in there 0 times, because 0 times 5 is 0. Subtract, and I have 3 left over. In division, we cannot have a remainder. So we added a 0, and I just kind of made it a dotted line so you could see it. I added a 0, because we can add zeros behind the decimal, and as many as we want, and it doesn't change my number. So I added a 0, and I brought it down. Then it says, what times 5 equals 30? Well, that's 6. 6 times 5 equals 30. And 30 minus 30 equals 0. Okay, so let's do another one. First thing I'm going to do is bring the decimal to the top. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. Bring down my 0. Okay, 2 goes into 0 no time. So 0 times 2 is 0. Subtract. I get 0. Bring down the 8. 2 will go into 8 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. And 8 minus 8 is 0. So your answer is 2.04. Okay, I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do E. Okay, so the first thing I do is bring up the decimal. And I look at 9 can go into 6. Okay, and you have to think about it. Can 9 go into 6? Okay, 6 is smaller, so the answer would be no. So then you're going to underline 68. And then you have to do your multiplication facts and think, how many times can 9 go into 68? And that would be 7. Okay, 9 times 7 is 63. So I'm going to put 63 here. And then subtract. Notice my 7, my 8, and my 3 are all lined up. 8 minus 3 is 5. 6 minus 6 is 0. So I'm going to leave that alone. And then I'm going to bring down the 1. Now, I have to think, how many times can I make 9 equal to 54? Or 51, sorry. Okay, 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 6 is 54. So that means I have to use the 5. 9 times 5 is 45. And then we subtract. 11 minus 5 is 6. Bring down the 3. And 9 goes into 63 7 times. 7 times 9 is 63. 63 minus 63 is 0. If you need to, you are more than welcome. And I encourage you to make your tic-tac-toe boards. That's your multiplication facts, right? So on 9, I can say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I work backwards. 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are your multiplication facts. If you need to make yourself a tic-tac-toe board for whatever the number is you're dividing by, do that to help you. It'll help you keep things moving smooth. But the only thing different you're doing between division of decimals and division of whole numbers is you have to move the decimal to the top. So this one, the answer is decimal 757, okay, or 757 thousandths. That's the only difference in multiplying or dividing decimals, is all you do is move the decimal to the top, okay? Now, hopefully this will help you get your assignment done and completed. If you have any questions, just send me a message.